Hi, Nature Together friends. We're back with one more story time for the week. I'm not going to be reading the story this morning. It's going to be Miss Teresa. So I'm going to hand it off to her.
Hi, Nature Together friends. I have a book for you today called Waterbeds, Sleeping in the Ocean. It's by Gail Karwoski. She wrote the words, and Connie McLennan drew the pictures. It's a book about sleep. We all need to sleep. We need sleep for our bodies. We need sleep for our brains. Have you ever thought about how animals in the ocean sleep? This book's going to tell us a little bit about how it works. It's called Waterbeds. It is night, little person, and you are tucked in your warm, dry bed. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to sleep in the deep, deep sea? Orcas sleep as they glide side by side in their pod. 4 minutes of rest, then up to breathe. Up they come, one after another, a rhythmic dance of black and white in the blue sea. Harbor seals may haul out on the shore or hover in the sea. With flippers tucked against their sides, they hang like bottles in the water. Only their slick foreheads, closed eyes, and whiskered snouts poke above the surface. Dolphins nap, half asleep, one eye closed to rest, one eye open to watch. Asleep in the deep can be dangerous, so wide-awake dolphins swim round the sleepyheads and keep them safe. Manatees sleep in warm rivers and in the sea. They rest both snout and tail on sandy riverbeds. Every few minutes they rise like bubbles to the surface and breathe. Slowly they sink to snooze again. Humpback babies nap behind their mother whale's big, long, graceful flipper. As mother moves through the vast ocean, her mighty body creates a current that tows the sleepy baby along. Northern fur seals sleep in a heap when they are on the shore, but when they're in the ocean, they curl like jug handles and rock gently on the tide. Beluga whales float like white clouds, their blowholes in the air, or they doze peacefully beneath the rich northern waters. Walruses snooze either on the chilly shore or in the icy sea. Thick blubber under their skin keeps them warm. Air sacs inside their necks hold up their heads and heavy tusks, so they bob like buoys in the brine. Elephant seals pop through the surface to breathe in and out. Down, down, down they dive through dark, deep water. Far below danger, they dream undisturbed. Sea otters doze above undersea kelp forests, wrapping the kelp strands around their tummies to anchor themselves in place. When it's very cold, they blanket their faces with furry front paws. Then they shut their eyes tight and sleep through the night. It's fun to imagine asleep in the deep, but a warm, cozy bed is the perfect spot for you to sleep. Open your mouth and give a great big yawn. You won't swallow a drop of salty water. Curl up, little person. Stretch out and sink into your soft pillow. As you drift into deep blue dreams, you will float on gentle waves all night long. Thank you for listening to that story. It makes me think about how other animals sleep. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you, Miss Teresa, for reading the story today. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there's one animal in that book that my son Graydon really likes, and it's this guy. Do you recognize him? He's a manatee. And in the story, it said manatees sleep at the bottom, and then they slowly rise to the top to catch a breath, and then they slowly sink back to the bottom. So that made me think of a science experiment that I've done. It involves raisins and carbonated water, and my kids are going to show you how it works now. Take a look. Okay, I have my 3 kids here to do the experiment. We have Xavier, Graydon, and Avery. We're going to do a dancing raisins experiment. And I picked this experiment because the raisins made me think of the manatees floating up and down in the water. So the first thing you have to do is get carbonated water. They all have their cans. Pour it into your glasses.
All of it?
Yep. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add raisins, and they should dance. Look at that.
They're dancing. See that one?
Do you remember why they float up and down?
Because the carbonated water has all the bubbles attaching to the little wrinkles on the raisins.
That's right.
Little bubbles of gas.
And then how come they drop? What happens?
Because they pop. Because when they get to the surface, they pop, so they sink to the bottom.
Yep. Look at them go. Dancing raisins. They're like little manatees sleeping in the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Floating up for air and then sinking back to sleep.
Yeah, it actually kind of looks like that. And some are awake. Two are awake.
All right, so that's our experiment. Can you guys say bye?
Bye.
So that's the experiment. I hope you guys get to try it at home. And if you do, let me know. You know I always love hearing from you. And that brings us to the end of the story times for this week. And we'll take a little break over the weekend, and we'll be back on Monday with all new stories. Okay? All right. Bye, friends.